Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, the dope ass dude. Happy Monday and happy early Thanksgiving. I hope you are ready for the holiday and ready to be around your family and to express how grateful you are during this holiday season. So I'm really excited that you are here with me on tonight. Tonight's format is going to be a little bit different than what we've ever done, but I'm really excited about it. So first of all, again, welcome to the Dope Ass Dude podcast. And you already know the preliminary things. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you don't mind going ahead, subscribing to the YouTube channel now. And while you're there, click on notifications so you can be notified each and every time a new podcast is uploaded to the site. And then also, if you don't mind, go ahead and click on like so that this podcast can be shared with others just like you. So again, click on subscribe, then click on notification and click on live so that others just like you can see it. Now on Mondays, you can always watch it, and we will be doing the podcast for the remainder of the year. We only have 5 more episodes, a total of 8 episodes for season 8 remaining in this year. So if you don't mind going ahead, just tuning in every Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch the podcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. Again, that's Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. And if you're not following me on social media, go ahead and follow me on both Instagram and TikTok. On both platforms, I can be found at the Dope Ass Dude Podcast. Again, TikTok and Instagram, the Dope Ass Dude Podcast. So I'm really excited about tonight's podcast because if you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, and I must say the TikTok community, y'all are on fire when I've been posting these Let's Talk About It videos. You guys have been like really chiming in on the conversation. So tonight we're going to talk about those things that we were all talking about. Want to give a special shout out to Tyson. I see he's out in the chat. Pat, Patricia Brown, and Lavette. Thank you all for being on tonight so far in the chat. Happy to see you on and happy Thanksgiving. But are y'all ready to go? I see Tyson already said he's ready to eat. He's already ready, always ready to eat. This brother works out more than anybody I know, and he eats more than anybody I know. And if you're ever in Houston and you want to go out to dinner with him, just meet him at Los Cuckoos. I think that's how you say the restaurant. Or at Lupe Tortilla. He loved those 2 restaurants, beef enchiladas, his love. So again, really excited about being on tonight. And yeah, let's go ahead and get on to it. So if you've been following me, like I said, on Instagram, TikTok, X, or YouTube, you've noticed that I have placed each week, each Monday, I would post out there a Let's Talk About It video. So I would bring up little different topics that have come by, whereas I'm talking to somebody or I am experiencing some of these things, well, at least one of these things firsthand. So I would always just drop a video and say, hey, let's talk about it. And the conversation would kick off like crazy. So the first video that I posted, let's see, I was talking about, I have a buddy. Actually, I'm going to play the video so you all can see it. And then we're going to chime in. And tonight is very interactive. So I need y'all to be in on the conversation like crazy. So let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. So I have this buddy who recently met this young lady that he's really into. So he shared some information with her that caused her to go silent. And in that moment, he got a little afraid because he was thinking maybe he had shared too much information and probably like sent up a red flag, I guess. So he shared with her that honesty is someone answering a question truthfully. But transparency is someone being honest without a question being asked. So my question for you is, are you honest or transparent? And do you want someone to be honest with you, or do you want them to be transparent with you? So let's talk about it. So I'm just going to read a couple of the comments that we did receive out there. I mean, like I said, on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you guys were on fire. So Bernadette responded, I would prefer that you would be transparent. Reason being that I can see your worth. I can see who you are. I can see who you are. On the other hand, talk is cheap. You can tell me a lot of things. So Bernadette said that, and let's go ahead and go to some more here. Tracy said, oh, that's tough. I would say both. Honesty is helpful, but sometimes transparency can be magical because it gives you insight to so much more. And then we had a fella to respond. He said, hell no. Shaq, Country Wayne, and them gave us the answer to this. And I agree with them. Okay, that's pretty good. And then Carolyn said, honesty and transparency all point to the same thing to me. Just be who you are. And then one final one. Janetta said, being honest and transparent go hand in hand. If you're honest, you have to be transparent. That encompasses truth. Maybe your friend shared something with the young lady too soon. So you guys go ahead and chime in. So I'm going to give a little bit on what I think about this here. So I do agree with what Janetta said at the end. I think it's all about timing. It's all about timing when you are transparent. I think you should always be honest. And I think, well, some things I think you should just be upfront. When you first start dating someone, I think there are some things you need to share. Like if you have 5 kids by 5 different baby mamas, you need to share that like real quick. You need to share that real quick. But it's some things I do believe that should come out in the beginning of a relationship. But I think you have to use discretion when you disclose this information, because you never want to walk away from a situation that you think is going to kick off and be something, only to find out here's another person that knows your secret because it didn't work out. So some things you may not want to share the first 3 weeks of getting to know somebody, unless, like I said, it's something that is life-threatening. You need to be upfront with that. If you went to prison for murder, you need to be upfront with that. If you have a problem with drugs, you might want to be upfront with that. Those type of things, I think you should be transparent and volunteer that information without someone asking you those questions. So drop a comment. What do you guys think? Do you prefer honesty or do you prefer transparent? And are you honest or are you transparent? Let's see what we got. Y'all not talking out there. Y'all not talking. Where y'all at? Where you at? So another thing too, let's talk about that honesty and transparency thing. Like when you're dating, and I think this is something that my buddy was trying to do. He liked the young lady that he was dating. He was really into her. And I think as a tool to protect himself from being hurt, he shared that information with her. So if she's not getting with him up front, at least he's not investing a lot of time into her, and then only to find out, hey, she's not into me. Hey, Stephanie, what's going on? So let's see what TC has. TC said, I believe it goes hand in hand as well. However, timing is key. Sometimes you can overshare or share too soon. So let me ask you guys out there, have any of you ever overshared and it backfired on you? And Levette said, I agree with Janetta's answer. Again, timing is everything. Yeah, timing is everything. Transparency and truth, they're one and the same. You need to be upfront about it. Anybody else have any other comments on that one? Yes, that's right. So, yep, so people that are out here and you're dating, it's about timing. And if you feel like you're liking this person, you have to make sure that you're not oversharing too soon. And everything is not something that I guess need to be transparent about. You know, you have to use your discretion. And I think that's where the oversharing comes in. Okay. So that's all y'all got on that one. Okay, cool, cool. So let's go to the next one and y'all chime in on this one. Let me get there. So I have a question for you. I think over time we've all heard unequally yoked, and I want to know, what does that mean to you? Is it religious? Is it dreams, passions, goals? Is it morals? When you hear unequally yoked, what does that mean to you? And would you date someone that is unequally yoked with you? And then lastly, why are you friends and with people who are unequally yoked with you? And this is a really good one. This is a really good one. So let's go ahead and some of the comments that we received on that one. Lakeisha said, nope, you have to be like-minded. I'm not dating or marrying a Muslim or anyone who doesn't believe in Jesus. It means we don't believe the same. And then Levette said, I believe that applies in all areas to being compatible in any type of relationship. In the friendship area, there are levels to that. And then she said no to dating. She wouldn't date anyone that is unequally yoked for her. So Tiff said, most people don't know what a yoke is to begin with. When two animals are yoked together, they have to move together. Until men stop competing, no, stop making women their competitors, none of this is productive. Okay. And then let me see here. I read that one twice. And then Inez came back and said, I married someone unequally yoked spiritually. We didn't share the same relationship with God. I saw potential and I thought I could change him. We had dreams and goals that matched and faded. And then Sparkle said all of it. So she was pretty much saying they have to be equally yoked with her spiritually, mentally, financially, physically, everything. They have to be equal with her. So what do you guys think about that? Unequally yoked. What do you guys think about that? And what I think, I'll just go ahead and share mine while you guys are typing this out. My viewpoint on unequally yoked is that I think a lot of times, even with relationships with God, there are certain levels in there. We're all on a different, not we're not all, but a lot of us are on different levels with our spirituality. And you may be someone that goes to church all the time, speaking tongues and want to read your Bible every night, and you may not. You may meet someone that reads their Bible once a week and they go to church on Sundays or they watch church online. Are you unequally yoked with them at that point? Is that unequal because you guys aren't on the same level? You believe in the same God, and the way the world, everybody has a different relationship with God, and we view God and Jesus Christ differently. So because of that, my view of Jesus may be completely different of your view of Jesus. We believe in the same God, but our viewpoints are different. Are we equally yoked? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. And then also another thing I think with that is a lot of times people get into relationships with other people. And when they get into these relationships with the people, they aren't equally like equals when it comes to finance. They're not equal when it comes to their goals. So you may find someone who is spiritually on the same level with you, but they're not compatible on any other level of your life. So what do you guys think about that? Let's see. Tisa says, I can't deal with unequally yoked people. It lowers my IQ. I just can't. Okay. Okay. Levette said compatibility is key. There has to be a like mind connection. Okay, I agree with that. So let me ask you, ladies here, TC and Levette. So, TC, would you marry someone who is unequally yoked with you? And Levette, when you say like mind, what are you referring to? We know that they believe in Jesus Christ, but what do you mean by like mind? So, Stephanie says, as long as he is a believer, because if he isn't, it's not going to work out later. The vibes are not the same, things won't be the same, and they will blame you for insecurities. So, no. Okay. Yeah, that makes pretty good sense. So, okay, because if he isn't, it's not going to work out later. Okay. So, if he's not a believer, I agree. The vibes are not the same. Things won't be the same, and they will blame you for their insecurities. So, Stephanie, when you say insecurities, what do you mean by that? What insecurities are you meaning? So, we'll wait for you to respond with that. So, for those that are just joining, we are talking about being unequally yoked with someone. So, drop a comment. Question is, would you date or marry someone who is unequally yoked with you? Whatever your definition of unequally yoked is, in the Bible, it refers to two animals that move together. And that's what Tiff was saying. A lot of people don't even know what yoke means. You have to be in sync. It's two animals that are in sync. So, yeah. Would you date someone that you believe is not equally yoked? And what is your definition of it? So, Levette came back and said, a balanced connection. We actually like each other and share common interests. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, Stephanie, we waiting on you for your definition of insecurities. We'll give that. Anybody else? Y'all just drop your comment in there. Would you date someone that is unequally yoked with you? Okay, I guess y'all talked out. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Let me pull that up here. So the other day I was speaking with a friend girl of mine, and she was sharing with me she met this new amazing guy, and she was all excited. And of course I'm excited because she's my friend and I want the best for her if that's what she's choosing to do. Now she just came out of a relationship, a long-term relationship. I mean, like long term relationship about a year and a half ago, and she's met this new guy, and she was going on about him and how great of a guy he is. So I asked her, well, are you sure you're ready to start back dating and be in a serious relationship? And she was like, yeah, I think I am. And she was like, yeah, that relationship, my marriage ended before it ended, before I left. So I was like, okay, but you stayed. Okay, but that's another day, but are you sure you are ready for a relationship? And I asked her, I said, so this guy is going to be your rebound. She was like, no, he ain't gonna be my rebound. I think I'm ready and we're gonna be good. This is gonna make it and all this other kind of stuff. So my question for you is, have you ever monkey branched into another relationship? How long was it before you jumped into that relationship? Or have you been the one that was monkey branched too? Were you the rebound? Okay. So, okay, before we get to that, we got some more comments on the other one. Then we're going to come back with that. So, Tanya, what's up, Tanya? Tanya's out in California. What's going on? Tanya said not anymore. So, she wouldn't date anyone who is unequally yoked with her. And Willie came and said, people change. So, why not? So, Willie, are you saying you can date someone unequally yoked with the hopes of changing them to believe and think like you think? Or yeah, what are you saying? Are they going to come in and change you to believe and think like they think? What do you mean? Give us a little bit more context on that. And Tanya said, I've learned my lesson. Good for you. And let's see, Pat said, good evening, John and everyone. I have dated an unequal mate. Okay, okay. Pat says she done did it. Pat, how did that work out for you? Y'all still together? Let's see what Pat comes back with. And Stephanie came back with more explanation. She said they will be obsessive of you, toxic, jealous, insecure with you, always accusing you and for the wrong reasons, want to argue for little things don't make sense. And all of this is coming from being unequally yoked, Stephanie? You think all of that comes from unequally yoked? Let's see here what we got here. Okay, Willie came back with some. No, not to change them, but just people change over time. And if you really want someone, you will make changes. Okay, so that's really, really good, Willie. So, okay, and that goes back to what Inez was saying earlier in her comment. Let me go back to where her comment was, because she said she did that. Let me go back up to her. So Inez said, I married someone unequally yoked spiritually. We didn't share the same relationship with God. I saw potential and thought I could change him. We had dreams and goals that matched and faded. Okay, so dreams and goals that match. So Willis, she went into the situation thinking that they were going to change and it didn't work. And I get it. That doesn't apply to everybody. So Willie, I'm going to ask you another question. Is it fair to go into a relationship hoping to change someone? Is it fair to them if they're not what you want? Shouldn't they just walk away from you? Let us know what you're thinking, Willie. And Pat, we waiting on you. You know, are you still with this unequal person, or how did that work out for you? Did y'all last? You cut them off, or what happened with that? And Stephanie, look like you may still be typing because you got keep at the end. Okay. Okay. So yeah, insecurities, I think they do arise in a relationship if someone is not on the same level as you. If y'all not equal, then you will start to either they will start to try to change you or you would start trying to change them, and then people begin to feel inadequate and so forth. So Stephanie, not sure if that's what you meant by that, but if you don't mind, come in on it a little bit more. We're going to go to the rebound one because that's where we had moved to that. And Stephanie, once you come back, we'll revisit yours. So let me go back up. We on rebound. So, okay, Glenise said on the rebound one, she commented, and Glenise said, wait, not pulling up here. Glenise said, I've been on both ends of the spectrum. It's more of a to each its own type situation. As always, I wish the best for all parties. Tiffany came back and said, when I'm done, I'm done. I don't agree with, see here, I don't agree with her reasoning, but if I meet someone worth my time, I'm down. When you are a whole person, you have no need to sit and stew on what was. Okay. Levette said, yes, I've experienced jumping too soon, and it was a complete epic fail. After a long relationship, healing must take place. Okay. Okay, so what do you guys think about that? Rebound relationship. Is there a certain amount of time people should wait before they jump into another relationship? Now, personally, for me, when I come out of a relationship, I work on me first before I even start getting back into another situation. I take ample amount of time just to get me back on the right track. And like if I meet someone, one of my first questions is, when did your last relationship end? That's one of my first questions I ask because I want to know when it ended, how long it was, and depending on how long it was and when it ended determines whether or not I'm going to continue talking with you or not. Because I put in the work to be in a good space. So I want to be with someone who's coming into the situation whole. And if we want to call that equally yoked, we can call that equally yoked. But I don't monkey branch into situations. Have I ever been in a situation where I was monkey branched and I was the rebound? Absolutely. I've been there. And I can tell you from my experience, this is not everyone's experience, but from my experience, it didn't work. It didn't work. They come in with insecurities. You're going to be dealing with that. You're always going to be wondering if they're going to leave you to go back, all of those type of things. So for me, if I come out of a relationship, if it's been a couple of years, I'm going to take at least a year off where I'm not dating. I'm not doing anything. I'm working on me. I'm getting me. I'm detoxing. I'm purging. Because when, like what Tiff said earlier, when I'm done, I'm done. It's no going back. But I want to make sure I'm completely rid of you. So let's see here. Stephanie came. Oh, well, I've got some more here. Pat came back and said, I kicked him to the curb. Okay. And got with someone who was what I needed. Congrats, Pat. Willie came back and said, depends on the relationship. If it was abusive, toxic, or it just ran its course. Okay. And Stephanie came back. I experienced it because my ex-husband, it was unhealthy and toxic. You can't change a person. They have to. And we had different vibes, and it lead to be an abusive. Oh, with me, I had to get out of it. Congrats, Stephanie, for getting out of that. Yeah, that's really good. TC came back and said, you must have time for yourself prior to jumping into a relationship. You need time for yourself to heal and regroup. Okay. And Stephanie came back and said, because he blamed me for our son's passing. Oh, wow. Sorry about that. Sorry for your loss. Son had cancer, died at 4 years old. He started being abusive. Wow. 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 So, Steph, did you, and I mean, you're very transparent. I appreciate that about you. Did you see any of these signs before you went into the situation, or were they good with masking who they were? And then once everything went down, then that's when you saw these traits. And then Pat came back and said, rebound relationships is for me to think about what I don't want in my relationship. So Pat is an advocate for rebound relationships. Okay, so you using them as practice and as a syllabus of what you don't want in your next relationship. Okay, Pat, I guess that's what rebounds are for. Now, so question, you guys in the comments, do you think rebound relationships work? Oh, Levin put laughing out loud. Okay. Do you guys think rebound relationships work? And if you've been a rebound, did it work? Wait for you guys to put some comments in there. And for those that are joining, this is an interactive podcast on tonight. And then while we're doing this, I definitely want to send a shout out to Shanna Lee Dixon Scott. She was supposed to be the guest on tonight. Her husband has taken ill. Shanna Lee, we're praying for you and Josh for a quick recovery, and can't wait to get you on the podcast at a later date. So Tisa said, nope, she's never been in a rebound in relationship. Okay. And Levette, are you saying, I think Levette is saying she would not be in a relationship? She said absolutely not. Okay, she wouldn't monkey branch. Okay. Dewan said hello. Hey, Dewan. Okay. Marquita said never worked for me. Rebounds never worked for her. Okay. Cool. So we good with that? Y'all, anybody else? Willie, you got anything else you want to say on there? You believe that they can change a guy to make him what they want just with a little patience? And Levette said, not another one anyway. Okay, cool. Cool. TC came back. Never was in a rebound relationship, but I've had rebound situationships. Okay. Okay. So you like Pat, you come out of a relationship, it's just, you know, something to do till you get to your next. You just doing what you do. Okay. Nothing wrong with it. And then Willie says, no, you can't change no dude. Okay. So, ladies, Willie just broke it down, and I agree with that. And Stephanie said the same thing. You can't change anybody, they have to want to change. And sometimes people can believe you are worth them changing for, but they have to make the change. You can't go in forcing your beliefs, your desires on someone, because the only thing they will do in the end is resent you, because they will feel as though they've given up who they are. It make you just say, no, I'm good. Hello. Okay. I mean, holla. Okay, Pat, that's what you're doing. Okay. So let's go to this next one. Yeah, let's go to this next one. And this is privacy, friends' privacy. So let's talk about it. Recently, a married buddy of mine, he shared with me that his wife has access to check his text messages. Now, hey, at first, I gotta admit, I was a little taken back by that, because I've shared some personal things with him via text. So nothing against his wife or anything, but these are probably things I would not have shared with her. So when I asked him, like, well, bro, why didn't you tell me that? His response was, well, hey, why would she check my text messages? And not saying that she checks his messages or not, but she has access to if she chose to. So my question for you is, are you transparent with your friends? If you're in a relationship and you know that your spouse or your partner has access to check your text messages, do you tell your friends that your spouse can check your text messages? And say, for instance, you're not in a relationship and you are sharing your information with a married friend or someone in a relationship. How would you feel if you found out their spouse could read some of the things that you share with them? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Peace. Okay, so Lasunda came with a comment before we go to that. I believe from heal space, you can come out of a long relationship and find what's best for you. Okay, from a healed space, you can come out of a long relationship. Okay, Lasunda, I think, yeah, from a healed space, you can. I agree. I agree. Okay, so let's go to some of these comments. So the question is, do you think if a friend has a wife or a husband or a spouse or a partner or mate, whatever, and the mate has access to read their text messages, should the married person or the involved person tell their friends, hey, my spouse can check my text messages, so I'm not telling you can't share with me, but I'm letting you know there's a possibility they may see it. So here goes some of the responses that we received on that. Yolanda said, nope, she doesn't. I mean, because why would I need to? So Yolanda is pretty much saying she doesn't see the need to tell her friends that, hey, my dude may read my text messages. She don't feel that need. Okay, Helen said, if I think they might share something private that no one else needs to see, absolutely. Okay. Darnell, he came back and he said, I wouldn't voluntarily share that unless the conversation warrants it. So I'm assuming he's saying if they telling them something pretty personal, he will tell them. Centel said, I don't carry text conversation combos with friends who I know their spouse has access. No different than when in the car and I answer on speaker, I always let the caller know, hey, you are on speaker. Okay. Lasanda, the Hill Space lady that just commented. Lasanda said, only if there may be something shared that they want to remain private. At the same time, it depends on the spouse you have. Are they truly trustworthy to not share your friends' intimate details? Okay. Tony said, let's see, Tony said, yep, this is tricky, but why in the hell does anyone need access to my phone? If anything, for emergency purposes only, or I'm dead and you need insurance information. Okay. Okay, Tony. And Shanta said, why do people go through people's phone? Doesn't make sense. People need to deal with themselves. Okay, so guys, drop a comment in there. What do you guys think about that? If a friend, if one of your friends, they're in a relationship with their spouse or their girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and their spouse has access to their phone, and they may not read the text messages, but they have the opportunity to read it. Should your friend tell you that their spouse have access to their text messages? So on my point, from my viewpoint of it, I believe that the friend should tell the other friend, hey, my wife or my husband or girlfriend, boyfriend has access to my phone. They may not read it, but they have access, because at that point, that gives the other person the choice to decide what they want to share in that text message, because they don't have a relationship. And this goes back to what LaSandra was saying, where she said, at the same time, it depends on the spouse you have. Are they truly trustworthy to not share your friend's intimate details? But the friend didn't share it with your spouse. They shared it with you. And your spouse is loyal to you. They're not loyal to the friend. And a lot of times too, when those type of situations, when you have friends, I think that create insecurities in relationships too, because if your friend is sharing different types of things with you and your spouse is reading it, your spouse may not want you hanging out with that person if they don't agree with what that person is doing or whatever. So I believe in those type of situations, you always should be honest, and you should, and that's a whole honest versus transparent. Transparency is saying, hey, my wife or my husband, my spouse partner, they may not check my text messages, but I'm letting you know they have the ability to. And that gives the other person the option to say, hey, I want to share this or I don't. And then another point to bring up on that is also the person who has that knowledge or that control, the married person or the involved person, they can control what they say on the text message. So they have the freedom to control what they say, because they know their spouse may look at it, but they're not giving you that freedom. And I think as a friend, you should give that person that, because for me, it changes everything, trust levels and everything at that point if I find out that wasn't shared with me. So Marquita says, I don't have meaningful conversations with via text. I don't trust text or social media. I agree. I agree. But so Marquita, let me ask you this. Miss Mars, I'm sorry. Miss Mars, let me ask you this here. So, but if it's with someone that you trust, would you share something if you couldn't get them on the phone? Would you share something personal with them via text? Okay. Pat said, it's good to know if we are up to no good in private conversations. Well, Pat, you may be the reason why the spouse is looking in the phone if y'all up to no good. Levin said, if that friend is married, not going to tell one anything to one, I wouldn't tell the other. It's the respect thing for both. Let me say, if that friend is not married, not going to tell one anything to one, I would tell the other. It's the respect thing for both. Oh, so you're not going to tell one person something you wouldn't tell both. Whoa. Well, what if y'all were friends before they got married? Are they your friend, but you know their spouse? I guess you just saying if you can't. So I guess that changed the whole dynamic of a relationship with you. Explain that a little bit, Levette. Tyson said, yes, please share that information. Friends sometimes share private information over text. I agree. Okay, so that was that. Oh, Levette says she would have a group text. Okay, Levette, so you would just include uh the wife in on the message. So okay, so Miss Moore said no, she wouldn't disclose that. I think that's a pretty good practice. And Levette said that spouse becomes my friend. Okay. Okay. So Levette, so you would share personal if the person is your best friend, been your best friend for years, you would share personal information with their spouse. That would you would just send personal information group text with the spouse, or you're just saying if you're just casually texting them, you're gonna form a group text. So what else does everybody else have to say? Marsha, what else you got on that? So have you ever been burned in that type of situation where you share something via text and it did get to someone else? Like, is that what got you to the point now that you don't share at all? Okay, so Pat said, not my man. My friends tell me her husband will check her emails. Okay. So, Pat, you know what not to share with her. So Marsha said, nope, she's never been burned. She's just old school. So she don't share via text. So Marsha, in those events, do you pick up the phone and call? What up, Leslie? What's going on? Okay, Stephanie. They should tell you out of respect because the tables were turned. They would want to know. Be respectful. The spouse shouldn't be insecure. Talk to your spouse about it and try to come to an agreement. Try to come to an agreement. So I agree with you. Out of respect, just tell them, hey, you know, my spouse may check my thing. So another question on this same subject. When you guys call someone and they have you on speakerphone, should they identify if others are in the car? What y'all think about that? Should they let you know, hey, Stephanie's in the car with me? Okay, so Levette said, yes, I would share because I wouldn't want to create any drama. Oh wow. Good for you, Levette. Levette is just making everybody. You get married, she everybody friend. So have you guys ever, do you prefer that they announce who's in the car with them? And do you do that when someone calls you and you're on speaker? Will you announce that you're on a call? So Dewan says, please do, because you never know what may come out my mouth. Okay. I have a lifetime friends that are married. Okay, cool. Okay, Miss Morris came back and said, people say things in moments and may not mean it, but when you text, they are held accountable for it forever. And yes, you should share your own speakerphone in that you are in the presence of someone. I agree with that. And Pat came back and said, I would call before I text at all times. Yeah, I'm kind of old school on that too. And oh, Tisa, I skipped you over there. Tisa said, yes, let me know, or at least ask if it's okay to be on speaker. I agree. Tyson said, yes, I would give a heads up, laughing out loud. Sometimes people call and immediately start spilling tea. Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. What up, Marquita? What's going on? And Pat says, yes, they should know we are on speaker with someone else is in the car. And Lasonda is probably going to say, no, you don't have to let them know if you can trust your spouse. I don't trust your spouse. She did share that he saw our combos. Okay. Your friend, I guess Lasonda said her friend shared that he saw our combos. And how did you feel about that? Were you okay with that? But and I think this is the thing with married couples, though. We've all heard of this thing called pillow talk. That's the danger a lot of times when you share with married couples. And not saying it's any, I get that's the person they're married to, they trust them. But with pillow talk, you get a little vulnerable. And in those moments, you share things with other people, and most times it's your friend's business or something going on with your friend, and you don't mean any harm, but because you trust your spouse, you're in that vulnerable moment, you just climaxed and you feel good and you feel a little weak, so you share with them some of your friends' information. And yeah, that's pillow talk. So I think we all need to know that that can happen. That can, when you're sharing with the married person, they're one with their spouse. So they're going to share with them. Now, does it make it right? Is there a level that they should have that they don't disclose your business? Because at the end of the day, they're really not disclosing theirs. So let's see here. Lasonda said, I don't share too much over text because of this and because my own ex would go through my phone. So I get it. Yeah. Cool, cool. And Stephanie said, be respectful. And I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day is just, when you have friends and they trust you with themselves, if they trust you with who they are, and I get you trust your spouse, that's your relationship with your spouse, not your friends. And there are always moments uh when there are always going to be moments when you may want to share with your spouse. So Willie came back and said, pillow talk with your spouse should be about you and your spouse. Why would you talk about anyone else when you are in a vulnerable state? Willie, it happens, brother. It happens. Okay, so that's a really good question. So everybody in the comments, do y'all believe pillow talk happened? And do you believe you talking about your relationship, or do you believe sometimes, depending on the couple, it all depends on the couple. It's not every couple. Some couples will discuss their friends' business. And Marquita said most spouses don't come to know why you are talking to your homeboy about. Most don't care to know why you're talking to your homeboy. Okay, that's true. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. I kind of lost my space here. Thank you, Marquita. And Lasana said, yes, I would say you're on speaker. It's okay. Out of respect, Stephanie said, yes, be on the safe side to avoid any disagreement or conflict. Okay. Dewan says, thanks for saying it. I sure was thinking about the pillow talk, conversations between partners. And Levette said that part. Levette, what part? Tell us what part. And then nope. Pat said no pillow talk for me. And let's see, Miss Moore said you should know your friends. You know if your friend is trustworthy. But what if you think they trustworthy? Miss Mars, what if you think they trustworthy? And I guess they are trustworthy because they share with their spouse because they trust their spouse and they know their spouse hopefully won't go back and repeat what they say. So hush, laughing out loud. You missed my prior comment. I sure did, Lasunda. Typing in one. And I was agreeing. Oh, so Levette said I was agreeing with Willie. So let's go back and see what she was agreeing with. Everybody that just came on. So Willie said, pillow talk with your spouse should be about you and your spouse. Why would you talk about anyone else when you are in a vulnerable state? And Levette said that part. Okay, Levette, you probably found out some good stuff in that vulnerable state. And so she came back and said, so, okay, so what else? What do you guys do? We all agree that you should announce when you're in the car. Let's see here. We got to come in here. Tisa said, yes, couples pillow talk, but my friends confide. If my friends confide in me, it goes to the grave. I don't tell my hubby their business. Good. And Miss Moore said, I don't share with everybody and I'm private with information. So if I share with you, you're trustworthy. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. If I share with someone, I trust you with me. So if you show me I can't trust you, then I won't do that no more. Okay. So for those that came in a little bit later, so tonight we've talked about honesty versus transparency. I think we all agree that transparency and honesty, they all work together. It all comes together, but there are moments when you should be transparent up front, but then there are also moments when you should use your discernment to know that, hey, maybe this is me oversharing right now and I need to wait until the correct time. So there is always, it's about timing with sharing. And then we talked about rebound relationships. You know, when you're in a rebound relationship, my stance on that is take the time to heal. It's not fair to the new person for you to monkey branch from one relationship to the next with them. Give yourself time to heal. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that you are broken or anything like that. But every relationship, I think, this is just my personal belief, you should take some time to process who you are at that present moment, because every relationship changes us in some way. It could be for the good, it could be for the bad, but you need time to unpack. And you don't have to unpack everything. Like I've said before on the podcast, it's like all baggage is not bad baggage. Sometimes you come off of a trip, if you work a lot and you travel, sometimes you'll come off of a trip, you take the dirty items out, the things that you didn't use on that trip, you can leave them in your suitcase and you add to it. And that's the way relationships is. There are some things from your past relationships you can take into your new relationships, but you need to take time to decipher what that is. And then we talked about, let's see, what was the other thing? Rebound relationship, equally yoked. That was another thing, another topic that we talked about was equally yoked is kind of subjective. It's all about you, what you're willing to go into a relationship with. Back in the day, I think we used to, when we heard equally yoked, it was more spiritual than anything. That's what we put it on, was spirituality. But the truth is, nowadays, you have to make sure mental, you're equal, finances, you're equal, goals, all of these type of things, because you can marry someone who believes the same spirituality as you or have the same spiritual beliefs as you, but they may not be compatible with you in other ways. And these are type things that you have to communicate with. And lastly, privacy. Privacy for me is a big thing. I respect my friend's privacy. I want you to respect mine. I'm not going to invade your privacy. And if you invade mine, then like I said, things change for me. It changes for me, but that's just me. So, guys, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. This has been that hour. This has been amazing. Please like this podcast. Please like this podcast and go out and subscribe on or follow me on Instagram and TikTok, because I'm going to be posting these videos on Mondays of each week. Get in the comments, and you see how we did it tonight. We have an interactive podcast, and I love this here. And next time, I'm going to put the link in so some of you guys can come on and give your viewpoint online, on screen with me. So we're going to get to that place as well. So please like this video, share this video, and go out and subscribe. And when I post the videos, let's talk about it. please comment down in the bottom. And until next week, have an amazing Thanksgiving. I am thankful for you and I'm grateful for you. And I pray that you and your family have the most amazing time. All right, then. Peace.